Hello friends, welcome back to Wow IAS. Welcome to the discussion on daily MCQ. Today is 21st of July 2021 and now we are going to discuss 5 current affair based MCQs. चलिए शुरू करते हैं. But first let us discuss the question that was asked yesterday. Yesterday's question was, which one of the following countries has the longest international border with India? A. China, B. Pakistan, C. Myanmar and D. Bangladesh. And some of you have given the correct answer as well. So yesterday it was Abzur Qureshi, Divya Vasisht and Shubham Bashak who gave the correct answer. So if you see the border with India, it is Bangladesh which has the longest border with India. And after Bangladesh, it is China. After China, it is Pakistan. After Pakistan, it is Nepal. And then you have Myanmar. So this is the order. Right? So first is Bangladesh. So there is a trick to remember all these countries. So remember this Bachpan. Okay, so in this way you can remember BS stands for Bangladesh, CH stands for China, PS stands for Pakistan and N stands for Nepal. And after Nepal you have Myanmar and then last you have Sri Lanka, right? So this is the order. Now let's move on. So guys, daily, as you know, we are uploading 5 current affair based MCQs and their solutions in this PDF format. So make the best use of this initiative to gain the maximum advantage in the prelims examination, right? Now let's see the first question. Consider the following statements with respect to Great Indian Bustard. First one, it is considered as the flagship grassland species representing the health of the grassland ecology. Second statement, its population is confined mostly to Rajasthan and Gujarat. So here we have to choose the correct answer. So if you see the Great Indian Bustard, it is the flagship grassland species which is representing the health of the grassland ecology. The first statement is right and second statement is also right. Its population is mostly confined to Rajasthan and Gujarat. So see, both 1 and 2 is the correct answer. So why this was in news recently is, so recently the Union Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, he has said that there was no Great Indian Bustard in the Kutch Bustard Sanctuary as on January 1, 2021. So that's why this was in news. So this Great Indian Bustard, if you see, it is the state bird of Rajasthan and it is considered as critically endangered according to the IUCN. Even the Great Indian Bustard is in the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. And also in the Convention on Migratory Species, the CMS, it is in Appendix 1. So this has the highest degree of protection, but even then we are witnessing the decrease of the population of this bird. Right? So this is all the important information that we need to know from the examination point of view. And as I told already, it is the flagship grassland species which represents the health of the grassland ecology. Now let's move on to the second question. Arrange the following countries in the descending order based on the forex reserve holding. 1 China, 2 Japan, 3 Switzerland, 4 Russia and 5 India. So you have to arrange them in the descending order. Descending order means maximum to minimum. So here if you see the order, it is A, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. That means the highest forex reserve currently is with China. After that it is Japan. After that it is Switzerland. At 4 it is Russia and India is at 5. So recently the RBI has said that, the Minister of Finance in fact has said that the India's forex reserve, it stood at 608.99 billion as on June 25th. So in the last 1 year, if we have witnessed the increase in forex reserve of India, and currently India is at 5th position in terms of the forex reserve holding. And at 1 it is China, 2 Japan, 3 Switzerland and 4 Russia. So China has the largest forex reserve and India's forex exchange reserve, if you see, it is in a very comfortable position in terms of the import cover, and now it can cover up to 18 months. So you can see, in 1991, we just had the forex reserve left for only 2 days, and now we have forex reserve for up to 18 months. So we have come a long way, and our economy also has improved after 1991 crisis, right? Now let's move on to the next question. The third question: which of the following are the tributaries of river Kaveri? A. Varda, Manjra and Pravara. B. Hemavati, Kabini and Bhavani. C. Tungabhadra, Malaprabha and Koyna. And D, it is Dudi, Tava and Hiran. Here we have to choose the correct answer. And here the correct answer is B, Hemavati, Kabini and Bhavani. So these are the tributaries of Kaveri. So you have to read all the rivers carefully. And the South Indian rivers like Kaveri, Krishna, Godavari are very important. And also in the North Indian rivers, if you see the Ganga, Yamuna, and you have Narmada in the middle. Okay, and you have Brahmaputra in the northeast. So you have to read all the, you have to take a look at all the rivers and the tributaries in a detailed way, right? Now we will see why this was in news. So recently, the center has given its assurance that Karnataka will not be allowed to carry out any construction on the Meghalatu Dam, which is on the Kaveri River, until its detailed project review is approved by the Kaveri Water Management Authority. So as you know, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, there is a dispute with regarding to the Kaveri River, and it is because of this only the final decision will be there with the Kaveri Water Management Authority. The Meghalatu, which means goat's leap, is a deep gorge which is located at the confluence of the rivers Kaveri and its tributary Arakavati. So Kaveri River, if you see, it starts in Karnataka state, and it starts at a place called Talakaveri, which is on the Brahmagiri hills. So this is a great site, this is a great tourist spot as well. The river basin covers 3 states and a union territory, the Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala. Along with that, even the Puducherry is also covered, but very small portion. So the major states which has actually the basin, the water basin of this Kaveri river are Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. To a small extent, we have Kerala as well. And the key tributaries, if you see, they are Hemavati, Lakshman, Tirtha, Kabini, Amravati, Noil and Bhavani rivers. Okay, and upon entering Tamil Nadu, the Kaveri rivers continue through a series of twisted wild gorges until it reaches the Hengnakal Falls. Okay, so this is all the important information about Kaveri river that we need to remember from the examination point of view. Now let's move on to the next question. The fourth question. The Logistics Performance Index was in news recently. It is released by which organization? A. World Customs Organization, B. World Bank, C. IMF and D. ADB, the Asian Development Bank. We have to choose the correct answer, and Logistic Performance Index is released by B. World Bank. It is released by World Bank every year. So recently the Minister of Commerce and Industries has launched the National Logistics Excellence Award. That's why this was in news recently. So these awards will help in improving India's ranking in the Global Logistic Performance Index, because the performance of logistics is very much important for the development of industry, and also the exports are mostly based on the performance of the logistics, because when the logistic efficiency is more, that means the traveling charge or the cost of transportation will be very minimal, and also there will be various logistic handling equipments and logistic handling buildings that will be there, like the warehouses, etc., which will help in the exports and the import of goods. So this index, if you see, it is an interactive benchmarking tool that is created to help countries identify the challenges and opportunities they face in their performance on the trade logistics and what they can do to improve the performance. And this is reported by World Bank every 2 years. Yeah, I think I told you every year, but no, it is released by World Bank once in every 2 years. And this is based on a worldwide survey of operators on the ground, and they provide the feedback, right? So this is all the information about the Logistic Performance Index, and remember, it is released by World Bank once in every 2 years. Now let's see the last question of the day. Consider the following statements with respect to the subsidiary alliance system. First one, it was introduced by Lord Ripon in 1798. Second one, those native princes who enter into subsidiary alliance were not free to declare war against any other power or enter into negotiations without the consent of the British. So here we have to choose the correct statement, and here B, 2 only is the correct answer, because the subsidiary alliance, it was not introduced by Lord Ripon, it was introduced by Lord Wellesley. Wellesley's subsidiary alliance system, and it was introduced in 1798. So recently, naming a garden on Tipu Sultan in Mumbai, it sparked a controversy. The British saw actually Hyder and Tipu as ambitious, arrogant and dangerous rulers who had controlled, and they even crushed these rulers. There were 4 wars between the British and Mysore. Okay, so these are the important things. And after the defeat of the Mysore, you can say the Mysore is ruled by Tipu Sultan. After the defeat of Tipu Sultan, the British forged a subsidiary alliance with the Mysore as well. So in this subsidiary alliance, if you see, the British will be controlling the army. That means the British army mostly will be stationed in the kingdom with the expenses paid by the king itself. So in fact, the British are able to maintain their army at free of cost. So it was Lord Wellesley who has introduced the subsidiary alliance system, and it was Nizam of Hyderabad who is the first person to enter into this subsidiary alliance with the British. And actually, under this subsidiary alliance, there was a policy of non-interference in the internal affairs of the allied state, but it was not followed by the British. Okay, so this is all the information about the subsidiary alliance, and here are the Anglo-Mysore wars. Just keep a note of it. This might be important from the prelims point of view, right? Now let's look at the question of the day. And the question of the day is, the Eastern Ghats and the Western Ghats meet at A. Cardamom Hills, B. Nilgiri Hills, C. Anaimala Hills, and D. Palani Hills. So you have to choose the correct answer and give your answer in the comment box. Tomorrow we will be discussing this question. Okay, so that's it guys for the day. And before I leave, a small information regarding our initiatives. We are providing the Vision PT 365 summary, Vision Prelims Test Series summary, the Vision Mains Test Series summary, and Vision Monthly Magazine summary as well. So if you want any of these summaries, you can visit our Telegram channel where you can get more information, and also you can check the quality of the work. Do make the use of these initiatives to revise your tests multiple times so that you gain the maximum edge. So that's it friends for the day. I'll see you again tomorrow with 5 more MCQs. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned. Jai Hind.